and welcome to my channel. I'm Lena and this is Lena Makes, where I share DIY projects, tutorials, and information on things that I know about making. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made a Wu-Tang sign. This was a personal request from my father for his birthday. He reached out and asked me, hey, could I make a Wu-Tang sign? And I said, of course. I used my xTool M1 to make this. I'll show you what exactly the process looked like on the xTool creative software and also what materials I used. I also put a spin on it with some resin, so it's kind of like a multi-medium project, which I tend to do. And he also requested it specifically had light. So I struggled a little bit on the idea for this, but I'm hoping that it came through and all of it is, I guess, well enjoyed. He seemed pretty enthusiastic when he received it, so without further ado, I'm going to show you how I made this Wu-Tang sign and how you can make one yourself if you have a laser. For this project, I'm using my xTool M1, so that means we're going to be using xTool Creative Space. I use this program for everything and it works really well. I started with an image of the Wu-Tang logo. I just picked it up from Google. The xTool Creative Space has a really great tracing feature, so I used that and it just pulls the outline of the image that you need. I then went ahead and used my tablet to just kind of create these drips, then imported them into the software and cleaned them up a bit. Honestly, the most time-consuming part was creating this honeycomb. I basically just grabbed a hexagon shape, copied and pasted that a bunch of times to create this pattern, then fused it with the W using an overlap. Then I used the tracing feature again in the software to grab the letters from another image that I pulled online. Once I had all my layers ready to go, it was time to start making the sign. For this project, I used a piece of Luan plywood and 3 pieces of hardboard that I got from Home Depot. The hardboard is kind of like MDF. It's not great for your laser, but it works. Starting off with the backer, I used the Luan piece to cut and then score where the letters would go, so it'll make it easier for gluing the letters on later. I realized I cut the middle layer off camera, but here's where I start cutting the honeycomb piece. Because this piece is a little larger, I used the triangular prisms to lift it from the actual xTool honeycomb at the bottom. That way it's within focus for the camera and let it do its thing. Once that was done, it was just me popping out all the extra pieces. Now on to painting. Quick tip, use shellac for all of your MDF pieces. It will help paint adhere way better. Off camera, I hit everything with a filler primer. I then went in with Rust-Oleum's 2X black satin paint to finish it up. Behind the scenes, I also ran to Home Depot to pick up some yellow spray paint because this house paint just wasn't cutting it. Once all the pieces were painted, it was time to bring everything together with some glue. Now I made 2 sets of letters and glued them together so that they would sit flush with the rest of the layers of the sign. With those out of the way, it was now time to put the backer and the mid piece together. I used the score lines and created some markers myself using super glue and a lot of patience. I absolutely hate gluing things together. I often glue my fingers together or misalign horribly, but it wasn't so bad. I was especially nervous about the honeycomb piece, but it came out pretty good. I also used these baby clamps to hold it all down and waited a bit before moving on to the next step. After giving everything some time to dry, I then went in with some black paint around the edges just to make it seamless before moving on to my favorite part, which is resin. Now for this project, I knew I wanted to make some resin that looked like honey, so I'll be using this test piece from the horrible yellow I tried earlier. I picked up this resin dye from the dollar store. It was the first time of me trying to use dye resin, so I tested it out versus my usual mica powder, and this was my experience with it. I had to add a lot of dye drops just to try to get the color to match what I was trying to go for, and it came out more of like a lemonade than a honey. Compared to the mica powder that I typically use, I only had to use a drop. Then when it came time to UV the resin, it's what I thought. I added way too much dye to resin and it didn't cure properly. These are the results of what I did. I have the dye on the left, the mica powder in the middle, and then just clear resin on the right side. Because the sign was already painted yellow, I saved some mica powder and was able to do the drips with just clear resin. I didn't want to fill the entire honeycomb, so I only did a couple of clusters with the UV resin and used a toothpick to fill it out. After I was done with the UV resin, I moved on to epoxy resin. I made sure the sign was level, and then I will be using craft resin to do this, and this is where the mica powder comes in. Here's a resin tip for you. If you're using mica powder or any dyes in your resin, make sure you add it to the resin or part A first. Do not add in your hardener until after it is the color that you're looking for. It will save you so many mistakes. Once I filled in all the epoxy resin, it was time to get rid of the bubbles with this torch. Now with epoxy resin, you have no choice but to wait until it cures. 24 hours later, it should be dry. Moving on to the last parts of the sign where we'll be adding lights. Now honestly, I thought about this part after I made everything else, so I had to go ahead and cut out another smaller W that would sit on the back and the LEDs can sit in. Using some Gorilla Glue and some super glue, I went ahead and made a mark of where the LEDs would go, and then I found these little blocks at the dollar store. Using Gorilla Glue and super glue, I just kind of like laid them out. This is what the LED strip is going to sit on. So this is now the front and this is the back. I painted it off camera and I used blue tape. That way the paint wouldn't get on the parts that I'm trying to use glue and it'll have a stronger seal. So using some hot glue in addition to the tape on the back of the LEDs, I just use it to wrap it around the backer. Now I had used a long enough strip to wrap this twice, and when I got back around to the plug, I just cut along the copper pads. I just glued that down, and this is the result. And now for the moment of truth, gluing the front and the back together. Will it work? Will it fit? I guess we'll find out. I traced the smaller piece along the back of the front, and then used glue to seal it all together. And doing my very best to eye it to make sure it was leveled, I applied all of my weight and then, yeah. DIY is about resourcefulness, not resources. I realized this was the first point that I actually tested the LEDs and I probably should have did it beforehand, but thankfully it worked. And that, my fellow makers, is how I made this Wu-Tang sign that's not only made of wood and resin, but LEDs.